Cone. I'm Michael Kay. So the Yankees opened on the road 2-4, but yesterday it didn't look good because they were down 3-0 against the Orioles, looking as if they were going to get swept. But they came back. They had 7 unanswered runs, a much-needed victory. So we're going to look at the game changer in Yes.
Welcome back to the Bronx. I'm Meredith Marakovitz alongside Yankees right fielder Aaron Judge. Aaron, the team may not have got off to the start that you would have liked. However, you bounced back yesterday. How do you keep the momentum going now?
You know, I think getting that win on the getaway day, in Baltimore is going to help us out, and then getting a chance to come back here home in front of our fans, everyone's excited. This place is going to be rocking, so I'm excited to see what happens today.
You had a nice day yesterday, a bullet down the left field line, also your first home run of the season. Do you feel like you're really settling in offensively?
Yeah, just trying to get comfortable. The big thing for me is just swinging at the right pitches, having quality at bats, and just getting on base for our guys. We got Torreyes being our RBI leader, already. So I just got to get on base for that guy.
How much fun has it been to watch him produce the way he has to start the season?
Oh, it's awesome. I got a little taste of it last year when I got called up, man. He had a chance to get some regular starts, and he produced, man. That's what he does. The guy's a gamer. He goes out there, competes, and he's a great guy to have on this team.
Your first home opener here at Yankee Stadium. What do you think it'll be like to go out there today?
Oh, that's a tough one. A lot of emotions. We're going to be excited, a little nervous. But I think once the game starts, it's just going to be going out there and just trying to win a ball game. So I think all the jitters will kind of go away.
Aaron, thank you so much for the time. Best of luck today.
Thanks, Meredith.
Plenty more to come here on the YES Network. When we get back, Michael Kay will be joined by David Cone and John Flaherty after the break.
powered by Buick. Visit TriStateBuick.com for great lease offers. By Fios. Fios is not cable. We're wired differently. Visit GetFios.com. And by Honda. Come test drive the Honda of your dreams at the Honda Dream Garage sales event today. A little bit of a cloud cover here at Yankee Stadium, but a gorgeous day. Temperature-wise, very, very comfortable. In stark contrast to Friday night in Baltimore, but it was a beautiful day yesterday in Baltimore. The Yankees got a much-needed victory, and they come into this home opener with a 2-4 record. The Rays, off to the best start in their franchise history, they are 5-2. Well, they've exchanged the lineup cards at home plate, and the Yankees have taken the field. And we are going to have a special ceremonial first pitch for the home opener as Michael Pineda gets out to the mound. So what we will do, we'll join public address announcer Paul Olden.
Last month, Team USA won its first ever World Baseball Classic Championship with an 8-0 victory over Puerto Rico. Today, the Yankees would like to recognize a few members of the Yankees family that are a part of this championship. Please direct your attention to the field, being escorted by Team USA and Yankees pitcher Tyler Clippard. Please welcome Team USA General Manager and Hall of Famer Joe Torre. And Team USA coaches Tino Martinez and Willie Randolph. They will throw out today's ceremonial first pitches. Congratulations, gentlemen. Thank you, Tyler, Joe, Tino, and Willie, as well as all of Team USA for your
solid first pitches there by 3 former Yankees. Joe Torre was the GM. He selected Team USA, and Willie and Tino were part of the coaching staff, and that really will help the WBC, at least in this country, because that was a much-needed championship for the United States. It's the game of this country, and to see them win, I think that meant a lot to the entire tournament.
And it meant a lot to those 3 guys right there. They all were very proud and very excited to be a part of it. I think universally, Flash, those players, they really relished getting that medal and putting it in their trophy case.
You know, Willie Randolph had a chance to talk to Meredith in that interview on the pregame show, and he was saying with all the things he's had in Major League Baseball World Series, that was probably one of the most exciting times for him.
Well, this Yankee team trying to create some memories right here and have an exciting time on opening day. Let's take a look at the Rays lineup that Michael Pineda is going to face. And it leads off the DH Corey Dickerson. The center fielder Kevin Kiermaier will bat second. Batting third, playing third base, Evan Longoria. Brad Miller at second base will clean up. The number 5 hitter is the right fielder Steven Souza Jr. 10 for 21 lifetime against Pineda. 4 of the 10 home runs. Logan Morrison at first base will bat 6th. Batting 7th and catching, Derek Norris. Malik Smith in left field will bat 8th and batting 9th. And playing shortstop, it's Tim Beckham.
Big Mike on the mound here at opening day at Yankee Stadium. Maybe that will give him a little inspiration. There's nothing like pitching here on opening day. And, you know, you got to do it to understand it. And Mike needs to do it. And you see those numbers. First start didn't go like he wanted. Once again, no walks and 6 strikeouts. But the rest of the numbers, a little compromising. Let's go ahead and check out the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And something to prove, that's kind of an understatement. It goes without saying. Michael knows it. Everybody talks about it. When will this guy stand up and be the type of pitcher that he's capable of being? Put the hammer down. You know, that's that killer instinct. When you get 2 strikes, get ahead of the hitters. I'll get into some numbers when he's ahead in the count, behind the count a little later on in the telecast. And I think he needs validation. He needs to feel good about himself. Even last year, he only won 6 games, but he didn't have a lot of luck. He had 16 games where he gave up 2 earned runs or less and didn't get a win. And that can wear on you as a starting pitcher.
So Corey Dickerson is getting ready in the left-handed batter's box, doing some housekeeping, adjusting the gloves. Crowd settling in here at the stadium. So Dickerson is ready. Michael Pineda is ready. And let's do it here in the Bronx. First pitch swung and popped up. Left side. Gardner there. and makes the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. Why don't we take a look at the Yankees defense presented by Geico? We'll start with Gardner. He's in left field. Ellsbury's in center, and Aaron Judge over in right. In the infield, you've got Headley, Torreyes, Castro, and Carter third to first. Austin Romine's behind the plate. We told you all about Michael Pineda on the mound. Rays took 2 out of 3 from the Yankees opening the season in St. Pete at the Trop. And here's Kevin Kiermaier. And there's the strike. Home plate umpires Bill Miller, Kerwin Danley at first, Todd Titchener at second, Adam Hamari is at third.
Good to hear the bleacher creatures, right? First roll call of the season.
Off the end of the bat, foul.
Yeah, Bald Vinny actually got a Topps card, Flash. An official Topps card, yes. Saw it on Twitter the other day. He was very proud.
Three infielders, right side, the 0-2. 1 and 2.
All right, David, so take me down on that mound. Michael Pineda, home opener. You've had a few of these, I'm assuming?
Yes, and some of them didn't go so well. So it could be nerve-wracking. There's nothing you can compare it to. The adrenaline rush that you get is not like spring training. It's not like another game.
That probably is my biggest concern for Pineda today. We talk about it all the time. 2 outs, 2 strikes, how to finish off hitters. If you're pumped up about opening day, it's probably going to make it a little tougher.
Absolutely. I think we saw that with Tanaka in his first start.
Line drive and a foul ball. Carter with the dive couldn't come up with it, but it was in foul territory.
Kiermaier just out front hooking it. A nice attempt by Carter at first base. Greg Bird under the weather, not getting the start.
Just underway here at the stadium, the home opener. And the 2-2. Grounded foul. The Yankees have the best record in Major League history for the first home game of the season. They are 67-30 in their first home game of the season. And the 2-2. Now he's had problems with 2 strikes, David. What's behind that?
I think it's just consistency. You know, there's a lot of layers to peel back when you try to figure out Michael Pineda, but part of it is psychological. I think also part of it is the feeling for his fastball, the cutter, and how much it's going to move.
Fly ball, center field. Ellsbury's there, 2 away.
The thing with Michael Pineda is that he has natural cut on his fastball, but sometimes it cuts more than others, and he has a hard time spotting that pitch. Sometimes he doesn't know what he's going to get. So fastball command, to me, is a real key with Pineda. His slider's never been a question. He needs to mix in more changeups, but it all starts with fastball command and controlling that natural cutting action he has on that pitch.
Here's Longoria, a thorn in the Yankees side forever. 33 homers, 101 runs batted in. And he fouls off the first pitch. Had a home run against the Yankees in the opening series at the Trop.
You always feel like he's going to do damage against the Yankees, especially here at the new stadium with the short porch out in right field. But Pineda has good numbers, 171 batting average against coming in.
0-2.
David, this will be the pitch right here. 0-2. He just threw a really good slider right there. I think sometimes Michael Pineda thinks he has to make it nastier than the pitch before, and he doesn't have to. And this is as good of a pitch as you can throw down and away to execute the same location. Really good sign early on. Sliders are down. Location with the fastball is good, and he looks to be under control of himself.
He really does. He's got a big full windup, kind of an old school over the head windmill windup. Creates a lot of rhythm and deception.
And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Longoria down on strikes. A strong first inning from Michael Pineda as he retires the Rays in order 1-2-3. It's Tampa Bay nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat. Of that hill face. Yankees come in at 2-4, taking 1 out of 3 in the first 2 series. Brett Gardner's in left field leading off. Batting second and playing center field, Jacoby Ellsbury. Matt Holliday, the DH, will hit third. Chris Carter at first base cleans up, batting fifth and playing second base, Starlin Castro. Chase Headley's at third base, batting sixth, batting seventh, playing right field, Aaron Judge. Austin Romine catches, he'll bat eighth. Batting ninth, and playing shortstop, the leading RBI man on the New York Yankees, Ronald Torreyes.
Alex Cobb on the mound for the Rays, and had a good start his first time out against the Yankees. Kind of typical Alex Cobb, pretty solid. 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. He's been tough on the Yankees too throughout his career. And let's go ahead and give you the pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And as we just said, that was a solid return. And this kid has been through the grinder. I mean, his injury report is just incredible, from Tommy John surgery to a concussion from a line drive off his head to thoracic outlet syndrome. I mean, that's just a potpourri of injuries, really unusual. He's finally back. It's hard not to root for a guy that's been through as much as this, and he really does have a great changeup, maybe the best in the game. Certainly throws it more than anybody else that features a changeup.
4th round pick by the Rays in 2006 out of Vero Beach High School. Vero Beach, where the Dodgers used to train, and 3 spring trainings in a row as a young man. Alex Cobb was a bat boy for the Dodgers. Brett Gardner digs in, and Cobb deals. 1-0. This is the 406th straight game that the Rays have started a pitcher who's under the age of 30. Ground ball up the middle and through for a base hit. Let's check out the Rays defense presented by Geico. Smith in left, Kiermaier, who's as good as they get in center, Souza over and right. In the infield, Longoria, Beckham, Miller, and Morrison. Third and first, Norris behind the plate, and Alex Cobb is on the mound. Now the best laid plans, as they say, sometimes go awry, and that's what happened with Jacoby Ellsbury batting fifth. With the injuries to the Yankees and Greg Bird and Gary Sanchez right now on the shelf, with Sanchez on the DL, Ellsbury's back in the number 2 hole. Pinch ran yesterday, got a big stolen base as a pinch runner, and ran on the first pitch. That's always been a little bit of a concern with both Gardner and Ellsbury. They don't run right away. (1-0). High fly ball, left center, and Kiermaier runs into Smith, and Kiermaier makes the play and then flips the ball in.
The Looked like a little lack of communication, but one thing Smith is going to realize pretty quickly, let Kiermaier take everything. Covers so much ground, an excellent defender. See the collision, he's able to hold on, and looks like everybody is fine. It's something Mr. Smith will realize pretty quickly. Just let your center fielder take over because he's special.
Low bridge.
Smith having a tough go of it, just tripped over his own feet right there. Here's Matt Holliday, his first home game in pinstripes. Obviously, they weren't the first day of spring training, but here he is at the stadium. Yeah, quite a day yesterday. 5 walks against the Orioles. And he said, I don't mind that. He said, I was looking for a pitch to drive. They didn't give it to me, and I took it, and I took a ball.
Matt getting his first at bat at the Yankee Stadium. Everybody predicts it's going to be a great place for him to hit. He drives the ball so well to right center field, it should play to his strengths.
There's a strike.
If you think about it, that ball Ellsbury just hit was driven, but just to Death Valley. You know, in a lot of other parks, that's off the wall or maybe even gone.
I'll be interested to see how Cobb pitches to Holliday just because of his power to right center. First pitch fastball inside, trying to crowd him. It's a call strike.
Holliday 6 hits and 18 at bats. So a nice start for him. Also in Baltimore, he picked up his 2,000th career hit. The 0-1. There's a strike, 0-2.
I think a player always wants to get this first at bat over with, right? It's opening day in front of your new home fans if you're Matt Holliday, and probably the same thing for a pitcher, right, David? To get that first inning and kind of get into the rhythm of a game or the rhythm of a season.
Yeah, get the rough edges worn off, so to speak, and just get into a game mode.
One and two. Since 1998, the Yankees are 15-4 in home openers, but they have dropped the last 2. We are told that there will be unlimited crew chief reviews because there is a little bit of an issue with the replay system. Same thing they had the first day in St. Petersburg. Teams still have their challenges, but you could see the crew chiefs looking at things more than they normally would. One-two. Ground ball through the right side for a base hit. Rounding second and heading to third is Gardner. Here's the throw. It's up the line, and in there is Gardner. It's a single for a Holliday, and the Yankees have runners on first and third with 1 man out.
Well, you always want to make a good first impression in front of your home fans, and Matt Holliday just did that. And we've seen this early on in the season and in spring training, the ability to stay inside the baseball and drive it the other way. Brett Gardner, with all of his speed, going to cruise into third base. A strong throw, but offline. Yankees all set up here in the first inning. Maybe have a big first inning.
Well, there's no doubt he was trying to exploit that hole in the shift that Tampa Bay was employing. We've seen Chase Headley do that with some success early on. Clearly something the Yankees and their hitting instructors have talked about and have worked on.
Here's Chris Carter. 1 hit in 9 at bats. Three infielders on the left side, and the pitch to Carter's inside. So with Morrison holding on Holliday, the entire 90 feet between first and second open for Carter, but he's a home run hitter. Looking to pull the ball. Two and 0.
Chris Carter did have 76 walks last year. Along with 206 strikeouts, but he can eyeball some walks. 76 is a respectable number.
See if he looks for a pitch out over the plate here, and one that's elevated, get the ball up in the air. Stay away from that ground ball to the left side.
2-1.
Kind of the modern day game, Flash, right? This guy had 41 home runs and 94 RBIs last year and had a hard time finding a job in the offseason.
Two and 2.
There's that changeup. The Yankees are going to get a good look at that from Cobb all afternoon. He throws it about 37% of the time. Little split change there. Good action down and in as a hitter. You're thinking fastball in. You get excited. You're way out in front.
2-2. Ripped down the left field line, and it's foul.
First pitcher I ever saw that from, changeup inside with 2 strikes, Greg Maddux. As a hitter, you're so conscious of that fastball in. You don't want to get beat, get excited. You're quick. You're way out in front. Carter did a better job there, staying back a little bit better.
Yeah, that's a great point, Flash. I mean, Maddux was a trailblazer. He kind of went against the conventional thinking the pitching, old school pitching coaches taught for years.
2-2. Fouled away the other way. Still 2-2.
Now you see it all the time. Right-handed pitchers to right-handed batters will throw front door cutters and sliders and changeups on the inside corner. That was a big no-no back in the day.
Yeah, and it was a big no-no because those were the mistakes, if you made them in that area, that would end up in the seats, right?
Exactly.
Two-two. Swing and a miss, and Carter down on strikes. 2 away.
This is Cobb's third best pitch, which is a slider, and this is a good one. Looks better than a third best pitch. It's got some downward tilt to it and a perfect location.
Did a good job of setting it up, right? The changeup's in. We talked about a fastball in, and then just set up that slider perfectly.
Here's Starlin Castro. Got a big hit in the Yankees' 4-run ninth yesterday. Grounded softly to the second baseman. And the Yankees waste an opportunity. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left on base. We'll go to the second. 0-0 right here on Yes. Team Scouting Report presented by Jeep.
Well, I know it's only 7 games, but the Rays are off to an historic start. 5-2, the best start in team history. And everybody had concerns, would they be able to score runs? Well, they are surprising everybody with their production. 33 runs, second in the American League, and the strength of their ball club, as it always seems to be, the 3.18 ERA. That is 4th in the American League.
Well, Alex Cobb worked out of a 1st and 3rd 1-out jam. So it's 0-0 as we go to the 2nd. Here's Brad Miller. And there's a strike from Pineda. 40 straight opening days. It really never does get old.
Remember times in spring training where you start talking about opening day, saying, all right, we got to get ready for 45-degree weather. How's it going to be in the Bronx? You can't draw it up any better than this.
So I think back to the time, I think in 1996, Andy Pettit started in the snow that day.
Flags over the right field grandstand. Moving from right to left. Wonder if that would help any balls up in the air. Two-two. Castro to Carter. 1 down.
It looked like in batting practice that the ball was carrying to left field today. Maybe those flags are indicative of that. Sometimes you get the swirling effect with the big upper deck here. Jacoby Ellsbury's ball to left center certainly carried pretty well in the 1st inning.
So here is Souza. He has 5 home runs at the new Yankee Stadium, and he has great numbers as we showed you when we gave you the lineups against Pineda. 10 for 21, 4 home runs. Trying for 5 there, 0-1.
Throw all those numbers together, and he's gotten off to a hot start, hitting over 400, a home run yesterday.
10 hits and 24 at bats.
Jack Curry on our pregame show said it perfectly. Souza reminds him of the bouncer at the bar. You know, that tough guy that got into it yesterday with Tulowitzki a little bit. He sets a tone for this club. Longoria more the lower key type guy. Souza off to a great start.
Swing and a miss. Souza down on strikes. Here's what John's talking about, that dust up yesterday with Tulowitzki.
Souza plays hard. He goes into second base with an aggressive slide, maybe threw the bag a little bit. Tulowitzki didn't like it. The bouncer at the bar comes right back at him to have a tough little conversation. Maybe a late slide.
Very late slide.
He came back later and hit a home run. Here's Logan Morrison. Pitch high.
David, I mentioned earlier I was concerned about Pineda being amped up for opening day. I'm not concerned anymore. He's executed every pitch perfectly. Thrown more changeups than I expected.
High pop-up. Shallow left. Coming on Gardner. And another 1-2-3 inning for Michael Pineda. He retires the Rays in order. We go to the bottom of the 2nd. 0-0. You are watching Yes. Toyota Prius Prime is the official hybrid vehicle of the New York Yankees. What's the greatest comeback you've seen at a major league game you've attended in person? Dynasty says, my first and only time at Fenway Park when the Yankees came back from 9-0 on the Red Sox bullpen. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using hashtag Yankees Prius Prime to keep the conversation going. That question asked on the heels of the Rangers' big 9th inning against Seattle yesterday.
Yeah, the Rangers going into the 9th inning had a .03 winning probability. The Angels. Albert Pujols had a big couple of at-bats in that inning.
Chase Headley leads off, takes low.
Pretty nice tone to set for your club, right? Being able to come back late in ball games and carry that belief with you all year long.
Shift is on for Headley, and Headley took advantage of the Rays' shift in that first series, taking balls the other way, bunting down the third baseline. Now, I talked to Mark Teixeira about that. He was a guy who did not like to go against the shift, and he said it's easier for a guy who's not a 35 home run guy. He said Chase is not that. He said he can take advantage of it and not really give that much away. He said, I felt my job was hit the ball over the wall, and if I started going the other way, I'm playing right into what they wanted me to do. He also said it was very difficult for him to go the other way, especially as a switch hitter, and learning to do that from different sides and keeping your swing right.
Well, mechanically, it's kind of easy to do, right? You keep the knob of your bat really close to your body, hands inside the ball, and let it get deep and fight it off the other way. But I think the big thing for Chase, he got jammed and hit some balls the other way and got rewarded with base hits. So then in your mind, you're like, okay, I'm not hitting weak ground balls right at somebody. You stay with the approach. And against Cobb with that good changeup, it's probably the right approach going the other way.
Teixeira too had two completely different swings, right-handed and left-handed. Right-handed batting, he was a little shorter and more compact and used the whole field more. His left-handed swing was an extend and reach and a hooking style of a swing to try to launch in this Yankee Stadium ballpark.
So Headley, 7 hits in his first 21 at-bats. He works a walk to start off the second. And that's going to bring up Aaron Judge. Judge had a good game yesterday. Lined a single off the wall in left field at Camden Yards, and I think the exit velocity was 115 miles an hour. And then after proving to himself he couldn't knock down the wall, he hit one over it for a home run. Starts him with a breaking ball strike.
You know, I look up at the batting average, 211. I feel like he's taking better at bats than that. You know, it hasn't had really a whole lot to show for it yesterday, the first home run and that rocket to left field, a base hit. But watch his at bats, you feel pretty good about the swings he's taking.
That was a huge home run for the Yankees to avoid the sweep that tied the ball game up late.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Judge down on strikes.
Perfectly executed fastball down and away, and you know, Judge going back to the dugout. This is a tough pitch to do anything with, but the slider before was a hanger and he couldn't pull the trigger, and that's the one you're probably thinking about as you're on that Yankee dugout now.
You know, Cobb's very deliberate style and delivery can lull you to sleep, and then 92 miles an hour plays a lot bigger.
Here's Austin Romine. There's a chop and a short. There's one. On to first. It's a 6-4-3 double play. So Cobb not affected at all by the leadoff walk. Yankees don't score. We go to the third. 0-0 on Yes. Powered by Delta. We fly to the most destinations from New York City to get you where you're going. Delta, keep climbing. And by Ford, the official truck of the New York Yankees. Well, we go to the third inning at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. Be the bottom third of the Rays order against Michael Pineda, Norris, Smith, and Beckham. And the righty deals. Strike. Norris 4 hits and 18 at bats the first week. One and one.
Pineda doing a good job with first pitch strikes, 6 out of 7 hitters, and also throwing his changeup. A good one right there at 90 miles an hour. Austin Romine telling our Jack Curry that he was going to call that pitch a ton today. He's called it a lot early.
You know, to your point, Flash, in 2016, Michael Pineda, when he was ahead in the count, simple thing, ahead and behind in the count. When he was ahead in the count, opposing hitters hit 203. When he fell behind, 302. And a lot of times when Michael Pineda is ahead in the count, he can use that great slider. It is a plus pitch. And when he does fall behind in the count, he kind of gets lost. And his fastball command comes into play then, and that's when a lot of the damage comes. His fastball will cut over the heart of the plate. Hitters get good swings and a lot of pop. 2-2. Just missed. 3-2.
I find myself paying attention to every 2-strike pitch that he throws because of the problems he's had in the past. All of them have been perfect today. Slider just off the plate. Norris a little bit of credit. He didn't swing. Throw a 3-2 when you threw a 2-2.
Right back to Pineda. One out here in the third.
Went back to the fastball and got some soft contact.
Natural life. You know, Michael Pineda is not trying to manipulate the ball to get that cutting action. That one down and away. Game in and game out of just kind of knowing what you're going to get on the mound with Michael Pineda. What's my cutter going to do today? What is that pitch? Is it going to run side to side? Am I going to get a little downward tilt on it? Can I throw it where I'm trying to throw it?
Malin Smith shows bunt, takes a strike.
And Flash, you caught him in all those years, Mariano Rivera, with his cutter that that he used so effectively inside to lefties. I don't know if we've seen Michael Pineda break that many bats inside to lefties with a mid-90s natural cut.
The 0-1. Check swing, fouled away.
See, right there, it's a good pitch, but it's right down the middle. He wanted it away, and it cut right over the heart of the plate. 97 miles an hour will make up for a lot of mistakes, but you see the ball just running out over the middle of the plate.
Yeah, you probably have to see that cutter as a hitter early out of his hand, to your point, right down Broadway.
That's the key with Michael Pineda, fastball command.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Smith down on strikes, third strikeout for Pineda.
It's never really been about this pitch. This pitch is among the elite sliders in the game.
But it has been about that pitch with 2 strikes where he's hung some sliders. That one is just perfect.
Single season highest strikeouts per 9 innings in franchise history. Michael Pineda just ahead of David Cone in '97. Pineda last year 10.6 strikeouts per 9. David 10.3 per 9. You were pretty good, David.
Pat myself on the back up
Yeah,
here.
you should.
I was good until I wasn't good.
The 1-0. Yogi would be proud.
Yes.
Still drop down and throw that slider.
Well, I think another thing to more along to kind of follow your lead on Pineda and the sliders that he hangs with 2 strikes. I think a lot of that times is he's just throwing too many in a row and you end up hanging it because he doesn't have confidence in his fastball command.
1-1. Strike.
Let's just think with Austin Romine right here. You call a 1-1 slider and he executes it perfectly, right? So in a catcher's mind, you're thinking he's going to throw another good one here with 2 strikes. It hasn't always happened with Pineda in his career. It's happening today. See where he goes.
The 1-2. 2-2.
If you're going to miss, that's where you want to miss.
Predictability is such an important part between pitcher and catcher, Flash. And the ability to throw what the hitter isn't looking for, to be able to show you can do it. Can you dot a fastball here? You're going to throw another slider.
And Beckham goes around through another slider. 4 strikeouts for Pineda. He's perfect through 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 3rd. Nothing on yes.
For this afternoon's injury report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in State of the Heart Healthcare. There are 3 guys currently not in that Yankees lineup that were expected to do big things this year. We'll start with Gary Sanchez. He injured his right bicep muscle. He's being evaluated by Yankees team physician Christopher Ahmad today, so we should know more about the severity of that injury later today. Also, Greg Bird has been out. Not only did he foul a ball off of his ankle at the end of spring training, he also got sick in Baltimore. Joe Girardi saying more about the illness, less about the ankle. He could potentially be used if the situation dictates later in this game. They expect him to be back in there tomorrow. And Didi Gregorius started the season on the DL. He started a throwing program down in Tampa. They're hoping he is back by May 1st. Guys?
Thank you, Meredith. So early injuries for the Yankees, and significant ones at that. And those injuries, well, one of them has given this guy a chance. Ronald Torreyes leading off in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Torreyes with 7 runs batted in, and that leads the team. Ground ball is short. Beckham gets Torreyes. 1 down. You know, David mentioned before how Alex Cobb has had some hard luck in his life. First year, 2011, in the Bigs, thoracic outlet syndrome. He felt numbness in his hand, then it started to swell up, and the trainer right away said he had a blood clot and thoracic outlet, so he had the surgery on August 18th. Then comes back from that, he gets hit in the right ear, a line drive off the bat of Eric Hosmer. Luckily just had a concussion, but they kept him out for a while because he had balance issues. And the balance issues were from the fluid that had collected behind the right ear. And then if that wasn't enough, in 2015 he had Tommy John surgery, so he came back toward the end of last year. So he's done it all. Thoracic outlet seems to be the new chic injury. Matt Harvey coming back from it, Jaime Garcia, Alex Cobb, where they remove a bit of the rib. That's kind of compressing down on the nerves. And you have to relearn how to pitch. You have a little bit of a different body. 1-1. Although Harvey looked good in his first start back.
And amazing, though, when you hear pitchers who have gone through it that they can't feel the baseball. I mean, I caught a guy in Tampa Bay named Ryan Roop, was throwing 4 no-hit innings against the Cleveland Indians. And I walked over to him, and his hand was swollen. He said, I don't know what's going on. I can't feel the ball, but I'm throwing a no-hitter. I'm going back out there.
Wow.
And then he eventually had to have the surgery. But it's amazing you could even throw a baseball.
One, 2. 2-2 on Gardner. Gardner singled to open up the bottom of the 1st. He has 8 hits in 26 at bats, so off to a nice start after a real rough spring training for him. He goes around, the ball gets past Norris, and Gardner will reach.
You can see Norris is not happy with himself. This drives you crazy as a catcher and probably as a pitcher, David, right? You execute, good slider, you get the check swing, and he doesn't go down to block it at all. He tries to backhand it, doesn't get away with it.
Yeah, I mean, with 2 strikes, calling that pitch, you got to anticipate a little better than that. That wasn't even close to being able to reach in the air.
I'm sure there's got to be a trust too as a pitcher. I can throw this ball in the dirt knowing it's going to be blocked, and now you wonder if he's going to start thinking about throwing that pitch later on in a big spot.
Norris known more for his bat traditionally, although not going to destroy him defensively as a catcher, but he is known more for his bat.
To your point, if I'm Brett Gardner here, I might try to be aggressive trying to steal a base.
Ripped into right center field. That is going to be trouble and splits the outfielders. It goes to the wall. Gardner rounds third. He's coming home. The throw is not in time. It's an RBI double for Ellsbury. And the Yankees lead 1-0.
Well, so much talk about Joe Girardi splitting up the lefties, but when Brett Gardner can get on base and Jacoby Ellsbury comes up behind him, it can be exciting on the base paths. A pitch up, looked like a changeup, drilled to right center. Kiermaier gets it in quickly, but there's just too much speed from Brett Gardner coming around third, the head-first slide, and the Yankees are on the board.
Capitalizing on the mistake, Brett Gardner shouldn't be on first. Now he isn't anymore. He's going to touch home plate, and you're right. Kiermaier just an excellent play to get to this ball and get it back in. I thought Ellsbury would have a triple on this. Gardner, no doubt, going to score.
So Ellsbury picks up a ribby and a double. And here's Matt Holliday, singled in the first. Grounded foul. Miller's trying to check him. Well, boy, Ellsbury's getting a big lead at second.
Great look from the booth here behind some of these hitters, and I watch Holliday and the way he sets up, and that front foot is closed off. It's almost like he's directing himself towards right center field. You look at it right there. I'm sure Nora's seeing the same thing behind the plate, tries to stand him up with a fastball and open him up a little bit, but you could tell Matt Holliday has one thing on his mind, and that's center of the field to right center field. Gets anything out over the plate and elevated, very dangerous pitch.
You can almost give the inside corner to Cobb. He just throws in off the plate. Not so much inside for strikes on righty on righty.
One and two on Holliday.
See, that would be my approach. You know, as a pitcher trying to evaluate a hitter, I would say he can't beat me inside. I'm not going to worry about a fastball in the inside corner for a called strike. So I'm going to sit off speed, or I'm going to look away. And with two strikes, obviously you have to protect right now. But even now, I'm not looking for a fastball in the inside corner as a threat.
You know what? If we were going through a pitcher's catcher's meeting before a game, Holliday comes up, you say with two strikes, he's going to go the other way, right? Every time. He might try to jump you early, but he's going to go the other way with two strikes.
Off the plate for show. You know, if it was a real weapon, you could double up right here, come back in and try to get it on the inside corner, what you call doubling up with a fastball inside. So Cobb threw a two-seamer there just off the plate to push him off to set up this next pitch.
Swing and a miss. Big strikeout of Holliday for Cobb. Two down.
Sometimes a pitcher gets away with a bad pitch. That is a bad slider that actually backs up. Holliday actually turned around and looked in disbelief that it backed up into him instead of down and away. You recognize spin, you expect it to go away, and it never did.
A little bit of a buckle you can see right there from Holliday.
Here's Chris Carter, struck out in the first. 0-1. 41 home runs from Milwaukee last year. The 0-1. High fly ball. Center field. Kiermaier makes the play for the final out. But the Yankees get a run on one hit. This one, Jacoby Ellsbury powers a double into the gap in right center. Gardner's off and running. He scores to make it 1-0 Yanks. Yankees baseball. Stay connected with a fully customizable experience. Get Yankees home screen icons and app features, as well as game day, live game video highlights, radio broadcast, StatCast, news, and more. Download MLB.com at bat today. Well, the Yankees have a 1-0 lead as we go to the fourth inning. Top of the Rays order. 4 strikeouts over the first 3 innings from Michael Pineda. Here's Corey Dickerson. And a strike. Romine has to be alert. Dickerson is the Rays hitter with that big backswing, and sometimes hits catchers in the side of the mask or the helmet. Brian McCann was the victim of that a couple of times last year and blamed himself, didn't blame Dickerson.
Dickerson swings hard. I mean, all the time. Got some bat speed.
Well, last 21 games against the Yankees, the entire 21 games, 304, 7 home runs, and 15 ribbies, so a new age Yankee killer. Fly ball right field. Judge is there. Well, Michael Pineda's been sharp so far, specifically with the slider. Here's Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer.
Couple of things. Notice the high 3/4 delivery and the downward tilt. From that angle, going straight down. Sometimes Michael's slider will go straight down. Sometimes it'll have slight side-to-side movement and downward tilt like that. That makes it almost unhittable. The extension that he gets, the mid-80s velocity. It's almost a combination between a curve and a slider, almost slurve-like in terms of that break and the way it goes down.
There's Kevin Kiermaier. Rays made a commitment to Kiermaier before the season began. 6 years, $53.5 million. This is a team that really watches every dime it spends. So they looked at the defensive metrics, thought that he was going to become a better offensive player, and even if they didn't, they loved what he did for them in the outfield. So he's in their control through 22 with a team option for 23. Audi scoreboard, 1-0 Yanks. Kiermaier fouls it away. 5th big league season, all with Tampa Bay. 31st round pick in 2010. Won 2 Gold Gloves and 1 Platinum Glove, which means you're the best fielder in baseball.
Watching Austin Romine and Michael Pineda go to work here, and we got 1 out in the 4th inning. They are on the same page, you can tell, with pitch selection. But also I watch Romine where he sets up. He doesn't even have to move. Pineda's just dotting his glove. Fun to watch.
Grounded to short. Torreyes gets the hustling Kiermaier. To a couple of celebrities at the game, many, but we'll show you 2 right now. Alex Rodriguez hanging out with Dr. Kissinger. Talking about some of the world's issues right there. Now, all kidding aside, you wonder what's going through Alex's mind. This is the first opening day he's missed since he was a teenager. Seems to be in a good place lifestyle-wise, but he's watching the game from a suite. He's not on the field.
Stress-free right now.
I wonder if it would have been more the home opener or the beginning of spring training, right, where that baseball clock is like, all right, I'm ready to get going again.
I still get the spring training bug. I do every year around middle of February, March 1st. It's supposed to be somewhere, you know. You just get the itch, especially if it's cold up here in New York.
Sure.
Regis is here. Regis Philbin at the game. One. 1-2 on Longoria.
Well, Regis has always been a big baseball fan. Been here a lot over the years.
Crowd looking for a strikeout. And they get one. Strikeout number 5 for Pineda. 12 up, 12 down. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Yankees. Moment. On April 10th, 1913, the Yankees play their first game with the Yankees as their official team name. They were previously known as the Americans, but referred to as the Highlanders. And the franchise, as we know it, began in 1903, but actually, the lineage of the franchise goes back to 1901, where it started as the Baltimore Orioles. So we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-0 Yankees, and Starlin Castro will lead off. And a strike.
So technically, this is the 115th opening day in Yankees franchise history.
Yes. Audi scoreboard 1-0 Yankees over the Rays.
115 opening days. We just saw the Masters, though. I think it was the 85th Masters.
Line down the left field line. Foul ball. Were you rooting for Sergio?
You know, you can't help but feel for the guy at this point, especially when he missed the putt on 18 like that. I mean, as far as ball striking goes, hitting the golf ball with golf clubs, I don't know if there's anybody much better than him.
The 0-2.
You know what kind of got me was the crowd chanting Sergio when he sealed the deal. How many years ago that an American crowd wouldn't have done that for Sergio Garcia, but he's kind of changed his attitude a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Castro down on strikes.
Yankees made Cobb work a little bit in the first inning, but you look up at his pitch count now and it's very much under control. There's that third pitch that David was talking about, the good slider. Castro way out in front.
Another kind of a hybrid breaking ball, slider, curveball in between. Great downward tilt, about 81 miles an hour.
Chase Headley takes a strike. "13 starts previous to this against the Yankees, 6-3, 2.80 ERA. So Cobb has done well against them. And the Yankees, as a team, hit .209 against Cobb. One and two on Headley. Shift is on. Three infielders right side. Strike three. Headley down looking. And he has a word for Bill Miller. I don't know what that word was, but he said something.
Probably thinks this breaks around the plate a little bit. You see it's up, it's up, it's up, and then the catcher holds it right there. Very close. Much better view. Just a bit around the plate, maybe shaving the black, but an excellent pitch.
John, so much is made of pitch framing. And I've talked to Buck Showalter about this a number of times. He said he's never heard such nonsense. He said any umpire waits to when the ball touches the catcher's glove, they're not calling the ball right. They have to call it as it goes over the plate. True or false?
I think it's a true statement in theory, but we were always taught as receivers presenting the ball like it was a strike in the strike zone. See, Norris just a little bit tries to bring it back to the strike zone, but there's so much that goes into pitch framing. Do I have a pitcher who can throw the ball where I want it to? I mean, if a guy's all over the place, you're not framing anything. You're not getting any calls. So it's a tough dynamic. But I do believe umpires look at how you present the ball when you receive it and make a call.
Here's the 1-2. Well, Cobb thought he had the third strikeout of the inning. Took a step toward the dugout. 2-2 on Judge.
Where Bill Miller, the umpire, is set up, and you wonder if he can see that outside corner. Set up on the inside corner, off the plate.
Yeah, one of the keys is you have to follow the catcher where he sets up.
2-2. High drive. Left field. Going back Smith. He's on the track. At the wall. See ya. A home run. Aaron Judge. And the Yankees lead 2-0. A moonshot. High and far and into the seats and left. His second home run in as many days.
Well, you think back to Aaron Judge in his first at bat was a little tentative, got behind in the count quickly. His second at bat, he went up there a lot more aggressive, swung at a first pitch fastball and missed it, but he hung in there and he got a mistake. It looked like a hanging slider. We talk all the time about his strength. He didn't center it yesterday, had a home run. He hit this one good. It's a deep home run.
Romine takes low. Now Kovno was gone.
It doesn't take long. Don't even watch it for a minute. And just the look tells you all you need to know.
Line drive, right field, coming on Souza, and he dives to make the play for the final out. But the Yankees add a run, and they add it off the bat of Aaron Judge. Romine bidding for a hit, gets it taken away by Souza. 2-0 Yanks.
The update, Boston taking on Detroit in Detroit today. Sale versus Verlander. The Red Sox looking for a split of that series. Meantime, KC playing its home opener against the A's. Giants played their home opener against the Diamondbacks, who at 6-1 have the best record of the majors right now. And Seattle in its home opener against an Astros team that beat them 3 out of 4 times in the season opening series in Houston, as the Mariners scored just 8 runs in that 4-game series. And oh, by the way, the Mariners coming off that loss yesterday to the Angels, in which they gave up 7 runs in the 9th inning, and the Angels won.
You know, Flash, this isn't special to me. You see him every day. It's special to see Lorenz.
He's never looked better, has he?
He looks terrific. Terrific. Welcome, Bob. Good to see you.
Thanks, you too. For the next cut-in, I'll make sure I work on my posture a little more.
GMC scoreboard, 2-0 Yankees. Brad Miller takes a strike from Michael Pineda. Miller grounded out to second in the second. Fouls that one off, 0-2. So Bob evicted David, but David back in his seat now, so all is right with the world. And Pineda deals. 1-2.
Got a little coffee, Michael, and some black and white cookies if you want.
Nice. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Overpowered Miller. Strikeout number 6. Stadium was a little bit different today, and for the good as well. New added attractions here at the stadium. They have the kids clubhouse, the masterpiece batter's eye deck in center, Frank's Red Hot Terrace overlooking the visitors bullpen, the Toyota Terrace overlooking the Yankees bullpen. That's the kids area, which is in right field, the 300 level in right. Got the A&T Sports Lounge, and the Budweiser party decks on either side of the upper deck in right field and in left field. They've done a real good job.
If I was a kid, Flash, I'd be out there playing wiffle ball, drilling guys, cup ball, whatever. Get a game going.
Ground ball to third, gobbled up by Headley. A high throw, and the tag on Souza for the second out.
Chris Carter actually has shown decent first base skills. An awkward slide from Souza at the last minute. Nice tag from Carter.
There's Logan Morrison. Shift is on for Logan. 3 infielders on the right side. Yankees lead 2-0. 0-1.
You're Austin Romine behind the plate. You got a man locked in out on the mound right now. I mean, he's drilling the glove with a fastball. Good life on it. All 3 pitches have been above average this afternoon. Nothing better for a catcher when you know you have a pitcher with all of his weapons.
0-2.
Good sign there, Flash. Fastball stayed away. He's following Romine's lead. I think one of the problems with Pineda over the last couple of years was thinking too much and shaking off and worried about the selection process instead of the execution process. And follow his lead.
Strike 3. Morrison down looking. Strikeout number 7. 15 up, 15 down from Michael Pineda. He looks sharp at the home opener. Yankees lead 2-0. We're halfway through. Yankees take on the Cardinals in an intra-league matchup. It's calendar day, and all guests in attendance are going to receive a 2017 Yankees calendar courtesy of MasterCard. For tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket window, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. Hi, David. What do you see from Pineda? He certainly looks very, very sharp.
Yes, he's on top of the Rays hitters all day. They are on the defensive. He's consistently ahead in the count, and his slider is magnificent today, going straight down. He hasn't hung one slider as of yet.
Ronald Torreyes will lead off. 9-1-2 in the Yankee order against Alex Cobb. An RBI double by Ellsbury, a home run by Judge. GMC scoreboard, 2-0 Yanks. Fly ball, left field. Smith makes the play. 1 away. Here's the strikeout of Morrison.
This is what you call the bottom dropping out of a slider. It looks like a fastball right down the middle, and it is gone straight down. A strike on the pitch, maybe on the swing, no matter.
Well, you love what Romine does before the pitch, right? Tapping his glove on the ground, dropping that left knee, so he's giving Pineda that real low target. It's kind of a new thing with catchers nowadays, dropping to a knee, kind of getting underneath the pitch. It's definitely working for Pineda this afternoon.
Some pitchers really respond to a demonstrative catcher like a Tony Pena style. I think Michael Pineda is probably one of those guys.
Gardner got the Yankees on the board. He struck out, ball got past Norris, and he reached first. That was in the third inning, and then he scored on Ellsbury's double into the gap in right center. Gave the Yankees a 1-0 lead, and then Judge's high home run to left made it 2-0. Oh and 2. Now in the first inning, Gardner went first to third on Holiday's single. In the third inning, he went first to home on Ellsbury's double. Not unusual because in 2016 he took the extra base 56% of the time, which actually was 5th in the American League. Bogart's first, Jose Ramirez second, Mookie Betts third, Elvis Andrus fourth, and then Brett Gardner. 1-2. 2-2.
Some of the new metrics that you just mentioned, Michael, really show the complete ball player and what contributes to a run scored, run created. Base running, such an undervalued part of the game, are hard to quantify rather than just stolen bases from years past.
Ground ball to second. Miller. 2 outs.
Things we've always known. You know, some of the old school managers, Casey Stengel, for example, would say, I don't like those ball players that drive in 2 and let in 3. You know, meaning I want guys that can play defense too. Now we're getting more sophisticated on measuring not only defense but base running and what impact that has on your team's wins. How much does that really help you over the course of a season? And that kind of base running that you mentioned from Brett Gardner means a lot.
Here's Ellsbury, 1 for 2 today. Fouls it back. And Jacoby is 8 for 21 in the early going. That's good for 381.
Back in the golden era, it was Willie, Mickey, and the Duke in center field, and the arguments about who was the best player, right? I mean, offensively, defensively.
Oh and 2.
Who was the best base runner out of those 3? Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Great debate back in the golden era. Still going on.
And the pitch. Grounded to second base. Miller. And the Yankees go down in order 1, 2, 3. We have played 5. The home opener at Yankee Stadium. It's 2-0 Yankees over the Rays. U.S. is brought to you in part by Infinity. Empower the drive. Visit your tri-state area Infinity retailer for a test drive today. By People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2017 models. Beautiful sunshine day here at Yankee Stadium, the home opener. It's 2-0 Yankees as we go to the 6th inning. Derek Norris leads off. There's a strike. No Ray has reached base. So Pineda has faced the minimum 15 over 5. And the count 0-2.
Seven strikeouts from Pineda. Currently sitting on an 0-2 count. Still only 62 pitches.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for Pineda.
Not wasting any time or any pitches, gets ahead 0-2 like you mentioned, David, and then goes to that quality slider on the outside half. Another swing and a miss. Love the fact he's not wasting pitches.
No waste at all. And when you have a good slider, they don't do the same thing twice. This one, a little more side-to-side movement. So one will go straight down, one will go a little bit side-to-side. That's not by design. He's just catching a seam and snapping it off.
And the pitch to Malik Smith is a strike.
First pitch strikes all afternoon, 15 out of 17. And he's not just throwing the fastball for the first pitch strike. A nice slider dropped in there.
Oh, 2.
That's a pitch right there. I think it's been underutilized in Pineda's career as a Yankee. That cutter in Mariano Rivera-like.
And the pitch.
Watch the body language of Austin Romine behind the plate. He's got full confidence that wherever he sets up, that pitch is going to be delivered right there.
Grounded foul.
Full confidence and full control of Michael Pineda too as well. He's gained his confidence. Whenever you have an excellent pitching performance going, it's a two-way street. The catcher's a big part of it. Romine very much leading and doing an excellent job of handling Michael Pineda today.
I think controlling the rhythm too, right, David? Because you know Pineda's feeling it. You almost have to slow him down.
And the pitch. He did not go, said Adam Hamari.
From the side. Looks like a check to me.
Good call.
Grounded to second, backhanded by Castro. He gets Smith. 2 away.
One of the first times we've seen Pineda shake off Romine there. Romine wanted that fastball in. Pineda wasn't comfortable. Shook him off twice to get to the fastball away and threw it right down the middle.
And got away with it.
So here's Beckham, one of the 8 strikeout victims. He struck out in the 3rd inning.
No pine tar needed today. Nice warm day. Not having any trouble gripping the baseball.
2-0 on Beckham.
Little nod from Austin Romine. All right, we're behind in the count 2-0. Let's get back into it. Maybe overthrew those just a little bit. Seemed like a little extra effort from Pineda. Get back into his mechanics.
Beckham goes around 2-1. And the pitch. 2-2. What do you go with here, David?
A strike 3.
Crowd is into it. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 2 outs here in the 6th.
You know Pineda wants the slider.
Here it comes.
So does Romine.
Swing and a miss. 9 strikeouts. 18 up, 18 down. And there is a buzz in the crowd here at Yankee Stadium. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It's 2-0 Yanks. Brought to you in part by Delta. We fly to the most destinations from New York City to get you where you're going. Delta, keep climbing. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Pineda has been economical with his pitches, 74 pitches through 6 innings. And pitches by inning, 13, 11, 14, 12, 10, 14. Last year he threw 17.2 pitches per inning, 5th most in the American League. Here's Matt Holliday. And there's a strike. Well, David, you've been here, literally. So when does it start to creep into your head?
About 15 minutes ago. You can't help but think it, you know, and I've talked about this flash many times, is that this is when the good angel and the bad angel appear on your shoulder. It's too early to think about it. Don't think about it. And the other guy on the other angel's going, yeah, you can do this. You can do this. So you're definitely battling your emotions. You're very aware of what's going on, as the crowd is at Yankee Stadium. That's the thing I first noticed, was the crowd, and the crowd exploded after that last out to end the 6th. So something special about a Yankee Stadium crowd. They let you know what's going on. And you'll see as he goes back out for the 7th inning, with each pitch, that roar will get louder and louder.
2-1. Could not hold up. 2-2.
You know who's also feeling it a little bit is Austin Romine, but there are different thoughts going through his mind. Scouting reports, pitch selection. I don't want to be the guy to call the wrong pitch.
Look at the look on his face. The time of your life. Two.
Meredith Marakovitz has more on Pineda and Romine.
Well, Michael, as we know, so much talk about what was happening with 2 outs with Michael Pineda, and Austin Romine told me that Michael Pineda needs to fix it himself. He has to take control. The effort is there. He works hard. He's a guy that wants to be great out there on the mound. And then he added, in fact, he works too hard not to get it right, and so far, he's done a lot of right things this afternoon.
Ground ball to Longoria, and he will get Holiday for the first out here in the bottom of the 6th inning. We also saw a shot of Pineda sitting there alone at the end of the dugout. Did anybody sit next to you?
No, you can see he's alone. This is when you definitely start to sense it on the bench, and you just kind of look the other way now. You don't want to say a word to him. There's a long way to go. I mean, the Rays are a team that's still very much in this game, could easily string something together. But for right now, just stay away from Michael Pineda. Yeah. Let him be alone with his thoughts.
High fly ball, center field. Kiermaier puts it away, but you kind of flew in the face of that, and you talked to David Wells, right?
I did. I got so nervous that I needed somebody to talk to me, and actually I talked to David Wells during his perfect game, and he was bouncing off the walls. This was much later, more like the 7th or 8th inning, and he was, you know, Boomer. He bounces off the walls as it is, and he kept walking by me and staring at me, and I said, show me some guts and break out your knuckleball the next inning, you know, and that's just what he needed. Just to kind of crack a smile, break the ice.
But you wanted somebody to talk to you during yours.
I did. I was looking for somebody as well, and Chili Davis was my guy. He actually warmed me up in between innings. Joe Girardi caught my game, and in between innings, he ended up on base. So there was no catcher to warm me up to start the next inning, so Chili came trotting out to warm me up, and I started lobbing them into him. I didn't think he was a catcher. You know, I didn't have any confidence in him at all back there. And he got all over me. He said, I used to catch in the minor leagues. I can catch anything you got. So, you know, I just kind of chuckled. Anything small that can just break the ice.
Fly ball, center field. Kiermaier's there, and the Yankees go down in order. Cobb's pitching a pretty good game. Pineda's pitching a better one. We go to the 7th. It's 2-0 Yankees. Michael Pineda, a spotless 6. Time for the game summary brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. 2-4-0 Yanks, zeros across for Tampa Bay. Cobb, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Michael Pineda, 6 innings, no hits, no runs, no walks, 9 strikeouts. Ellsbury, RBI double, the first run. Aaron Judge, a solo home run, the second run. All right, we go to the 7th inning. Top of the order for the Rays. Corey Dickerson will lead it off against Michael Pineda. Pitch number 75. Outside, Cadillac scoreboard shows the Yankees up 2-0. Dickerson, a fly ball to left, a fly ball to right. Rip foul.
Mistake. Talk about fastball command all afternoon. That one kind of got away from Pineda, got away with it. Dickerson a little bit quick. First time Austin Romine has had to reach that much.
Swing and a miss. Two pitches ago, we had a fastball, 95 miles an hour. The fast pitch speed analytics brought to you by Fios.
Flash, I've seen at least a dozen changeups today, probably more than Michael Pineda's ever thrown in any start.
And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 10.
First pitch was a changeup, second one was a fastball. He got away with it. Third pitch was a changeup, and then you come back with pure gas. And because of the changing of speeds, it sneaks right by the bat of Dickerson. A good mix of pitches right there and good life on the fastball.
Good life above the belt. Dickerson underneath and late.
Now here's Kiermaier, kind of a gritty type of player. You do not put it past him to try to bunt. Swing and a miss. 0-1.
How about Kiermaier standing on deck watching Dickerson, right? Fastball, changeup. Well, he gets a first pitch slider and looks bad. Trying to think along with Pineda and Romine this afternoon. It's tough to do.
And the 0-1. 1-1.
Probably the most unpredictable that Pineda's been to in any start in his Yankee career.
1-1. 1-2.
They know. Here they come.
And the pitch. Grounded foul.
It's about the time, if you're a fan in the stands, you start looking for your ticket stub. Do I still have it? Make sure.
The 1-2. Fly ball, left field, long run for Gardner. He'll make the play. Had a lot of real estate to cover and hauled it in for the second out.
Hit it to the right guy. Gardner has much range as anybody that plays left field in the game. Slight trepidation for a half a second.
Here's Evan Longoria. Line down the left field line. It is a base hit. It'll go into the corner and up against the wall. And Longoria has broken up the perfect game with a 2-out double here in the 7th. And the crowd stands to give an ovation to Pineda.
It was a great effort. There's a long way to go. And Evan Longoria is just a really good baseball player.
He's had really good numbers against the Yankees. Not a surprise he came through, but a slider that he hung. We haven't seen too many this afternoon. You take a look at this one. It just spins middle. And a nice trip to the mound by Larry Rothschild right there. This is still a 2-0 game. You know Pineda has to be disappointed. The guy Brad Miller, who has plenty of power coming up there. Get back to your focus, get back to your game plan, and try to win this game.
A really classy move by Longoria on second base, tipping his cap to Pineda as Pineda stepped off the mound right there. Pineda right back at you. Now, as always, and never was not the case, the game is in the balance here with a long way to go.
Well, for about 2 hours, he toyed with forever, and now he's going to think about the here and now. And there's the tip of the helmet from Longoria to Pineda.
Classy move from a classy guy.
The 0-1. Late swing, 0-2.
You know, David, you talked about how many changeups he's thrown back-to-back right there, but they've all been quality. They've been down, they've had good finish, good arm speed. So nothing else from this game for Michael Pineda you have to take away that you have a weapon as a third pitch, your changeup.
Yes, great point. Getting him to believe in it, as Romine has today.
The 0-2. Just missed. There's nobody up in the bullpen for the Yankees as they lead 2-0 here in the 7th.
Wicked slider.
Well, you don't get the call, but you love the execution. Perfect spot, 0-2.
Swing and a miss. The 11th strikeout of the afternoon for Michael Pineda. He has been magnificent at the end of 6 1/2. Yankees lead 2-0, but we'll stay right here as we get set for the 7th inning stretch, and we will honor America here in the Bronx.
Will you please rise and remove your caps? And please direct your attention to the area behind home plate as the New York Yankees welcome an honored military guest who is joined today by his family. United States Army and U.S. Coast Guard Sergeant Ryan Kidd from Elmwood Park, New Jersey, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom. The Yankees say thank you for your sacrifice and service to our nation. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to the microphone behind home plate. Our guest performer is currently starring as Gloria Estefan's mother, Gloria Fajardo, in the hit Broadway musical On Your Feet. Please welcome Drama Desk Award winner and Broadway Records recording artist Doreen Montalvo, who will now sing God Bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
I'm Roy Bob Lorenz with your Tri-State Ford update. Boston leads Detroit right now 1-0 in the fourth. The Tigers with just one hit so far off Chris Sale. A's in Kansas City. The Royals off to their worst start since 2010. And the Astros and Mariners later on. Houston tied for the Major League lead with 11 homers. The Mariners have allowed the most in the majors with 13. And of course, Jack and I, along with Meredith, will have the post game a little later on. Michael, we're just going to put a meat hook in John Flaherty, drag him out of the booth, haul him down along the third baseline. He's going to join us for our post game coverage as well.
Like a double header, maybe a triple header.
Triple header, that's right. That's right.
Oh, I lined up a job for you later on tonight as well.
What would that be?
Gig. Just a speaking gig.
Oh, thanks.
Just kind of fill your schedule the rest of the night.
Sounds good to
Can
me.
you imagine the post game you would have had if he pitched the perfect game?
Oh, that would have been
You realize he had one, right?
Yeah. Yes, obviously.
All right, so we'll hear from Bob and Jack and John and Meredith later on. Cadillac scoreboard, bottom of the seventh inning. It is 2-0 Yankees, and Chase Headley will lead off. That one is drilled to right field. Souza turns, looks, see ya! A bullet into the short porch and right. A home run for Headley, and the Yankees lead 3-0.
Talked early on about Headley and his approach this year, staying inside and thinking about going the other way. When you put yourself in that position, your hands are going to work so much freer. And that's what I remember when I think about that swing from Chase Headley. The hands just react. Down and in, a bullet to right field. Yankees adding on.
In the front row. Here's Aaron Judge. Now Judge knew that, well, Cobb knew that Judge's home run was gone. Let's see his reaction to this. He got bit by the porch. Now we have watched Joe Girardi manage for 10 years now. And in a 3-0 game, there would be somebody up in the bullpen, no matter how well his pitcher was pitching. There's a ground ball to short. But Pineda has pitched so beautifully, and his pitch count is so low, there's no one up in the bullpen whatsoever as we head to the 8th inning, 3-0.
I find it a little strange, though, because, you know, isn't there maybe a conversation that he's been dominant for 7 innings? Let's go to Betances and Chapman and leave on a good note.
That was a lot of the thinking that we had in the 90s with Mel Stoudemire as the pitching coach and Joe Torre. They always look to get 2 positives. We've already got him as a positive for the day. Now let's try to get another one out of the bullpen. And different ways to go about it, different theories. Pineda's cruising, throwing well. It's still a 3-0 game, so you could prosecute both sides of this argument. But you know, Pineda is lock, stock, and barrel in a good place right now.
I would assume it's Pineda. You go out and start the inning, but we're going to have somebody getting going right when you go out.
Ground ball foul, grabbed by Longoria.
Home run by Headley helps make that decision a little easier as well.
Now it's not just a bloop and a blast.
Well, that look on Alex Cobb's face. Any fly ball in right field here at Yankee Stadium. The worst feeling in the world.
This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Squibb the other way. Morrison beats Romine to the bag. It's funny, you watch Pineda pitch like this, and you're not shocked when you look at the stuff that he brings to the party. But his maddening inconsistency does make you surprised when he does put it together like this. We've seen him do it before. He had the 16 strikeouts against the Orioles at Yankee Stadium, and that was great. And you know, he's been dealing today. And there'll be people that say, well, why can't he do this more often? Not pitch a near perfect game, but certainly has the stuff to be this dominating.
Without a doubt. The difference that we saw today, and Flash has noted on this several times, was the different mix, the much more unpredictable. Many more changeups than we've ever seen him throw, and very good high-quality ones as well. If Michael Pineda can become a true three-pitch pitcher and work both sides of the plate more consistently with his fastball command, you're going to see more performances like this.
Yeah, I think that's what Larry Rothschild will probably take away from this one, how good the changeup was. So it's not just a guy who had great stuff for one start. It's, to your point, a guy who now should have 3 pitches in his own mind.
2-1 on Torreyes. So an in-game chat there between Rothschild and Pineda. Still nobody up in the Yankee bullpen. They lead 3-0. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Foul ball. An RBI double by Ellsbury in the 3rd. A home run by Judge in the 4th. A home run by Chase Headley here in the 7th. 3-5-0 for the Yankees. 0-1-0 for the Rays. The Rays' only base runner. A 2-out double by Evan Longoria in the 7th inning. Other than that, Pineda has been perfect. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Cobb deals. Did he go? Yes, he did. Torreyes down on strikes. But the Yankees add 1 to the lead. A bullet into the right field porch by Headley. Pineda's coming out with a 3-0 lead in the 8th inning. WB Mason post-game show on Yes. Our team is actually here at the stadium with highlights and analysis of all the action and look back at the festivities of the day, plus get reaction from the clubhouse. All that and more to come only on Yes. So Michael Pineda out to pitch the 8th inning. He's thrown 88 pitches, which is the amount of pitches that David threw in his perfect game. He's had 17 swings and misses, so 19% of his pitches have been swung and missed at, and the major league average is 10%. Souza takes outside 1-0. Souza 0 for 2. Michael has 11 strikeouts. Grounded to 3rd. Headley settles, fires. 1 away. There is action in the Yankee bullpen right now. And it's Tyler Clippard.
Joe Girardi obviously wanting to stay away from Dellin Betances today because He's worked in 2 straight games, which is probably why Pineda's being pushed into the 8th inning here to try to hand the ball right to Chapman.
Pretty efficient stuff by Pineda. Not one high pitch inning in there. That's why he's at 90, 1 out into the 8th. Morrison helps him out. Swing at the first pitch, pops it up. But that's going to make the seats and out of play.
You know, Michael, we mentioned patterns with Pineda, predictability. On average last year, Pineda threw only a little over 4% changeups. So for every 100 pitches he threw, that's about 4. Today I've got him down for 15 to 20 changeups. A much different pitch allocation brings on more unpredictability.
Morrison with a deep fly ball to right field, going back. Judge on the track, and that ball is gone. It went into the seats. No, they say it's going to bound back. It was not in the seats. The umpire spread his arms wide, so it's a triple for Morrison, and I'm sure that the Rays are going to want to take a look at it. So do we.
David, you talked about all the changeups. That was a changeup. We'll see if it cleared the fence, and
oh,
it
that's
did.
a home run, yeah. Hit his glove. Umpires are talking about it now before they even go to replay. And they will look at the replay.
Bad play by the fan with a glove. He got a glove. He didn't even open it.
Put it on.
Hit it with the backside of the glove. Open it up. That's a homer. I mean, even Jeffrey Mayer knew that. Open up the glove.
Morrison thought it was a home run, and now he's not so sure. What? Now he's, I better run. So at this point he has a triple. He's just trying to add 90 feet to that as the umpires back at headquarters look at the replay. So the play is under review. I don't know why this would take this long. The first replay that we saw that it was a home run. And there's the home run signal. So Morrison does get a home run here with 1 out in the 8th inning. And the Rays are on the board. It's 3-1 Yankees.
Little delayed gratification for Morrison. But off to a hot start after a slow start last year. What a difference it makes for Logan Morrison as well.
Here's Derek Norris. Hit sharply. Oh, what a grab by Headley. Gets to his feet and fires. And the scoop by Carter for the 2nd out.
Headley doing it all today as that home run, the bullet into right field, and then the hot corner, the quick reactions going to his right. Comes up with it, and the strong throw across a diamond.
And Joe Girardi is going to signal for Clippard, and we'll take a listen to the ovation that Michael Pineda is going to get from this big crowd. innings, 2 hits, 1 run, the Morrison home run. Did not walk a batter, 11 strikeouts, and he threw 93 pitches. Efficient, and he was outstanding. One of his better starts in pinstripes. So the Yankees go to the bullpen. It'll be Tyler Clippard, which leads us to the Volkswagen League leaders. And the Yankee bullpen has been used a lot and has been effective. Actually blew 2 leads in Baltimore on Friday and Saturday, but still a 1.19 ERA, second only to the White Sox at 1.13. The early charging Twins at 1.61. The Rays are there, and then the Red Sox. So Malik Smith against Tyler Clippard. Swings at the first pitch and a ground ball to second. Castro's there, and that will do it here in the 8th. 1 run, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees lead this one 3-1.
Show simulcast and get instant analysis of this game along with the hottest sports headlines from around the country. Plus a look at the developing NBA and NHL playoff picture, all right here on Yes.
We'll have Mark Teixeira on today. Might ask one of you guys to come on too.
Sure, I got nothing else to do. Pre-game, game, post-game, Michael Kay show.
Hard-working man. Hyundai scoreboard 3-1. Yankees lead the Rays. This is the home opener at the stadium. And Brett Gardner will lead off the 8th inning. Cobb still out there. Gardner swings at the first pitch and grounds it to second. And it's bobbled, and that'll be an error on Miller as Gardner reaches.
Well, Gardner runs well, surrounds it, gloves it in the transfer. Never got it. Cobb says, oh, I got the out. Oh, no. That's a little extreme. I mean, if I was in the field, I wouldn't want to see that, but it's understandable. I mean, pitchers are emotional, but it's a fine line between showing up your fielder's flash and being naturally disappointed. Cobb has been excellent today, by the way. Been overshadowed by Michael Pineda.
That's a great point.
A couple of solo home runs. His catcher kind of let him down on a pass ball. Or really, I guess it was scored a wild pitch. A potential strikeout.
The Rays have to be happy with Cobb, right? I mean, his first outing against the Yankees was good. Last year, coming back from Tommy John, he got beat up in September. He looks healthy now.
Looks healthy. He's used all his pitches. Excellent location. He's looked really good.
Oh, 0-1 on Ellsbury. RBI double, 1 for 3 today. Runner goes, swing and a miss, throw to second, into center field. Gardner didn't pick it up right away, so he'll stop at second with the stolen base.
I didn't think Brett had a great jump, but we talked about Norris behind the plate, known more as an offensive catcher than a defensive one. The throw was a little bit low. Beckham can't keep it in front. Another stolen base for Brett Gardner. Like the attitude.
I can't remember the last time I saw Brett Gardner steal that early in the count. First or second pitch. He's usually a little more deliberate, but very aggressive and a welcome sight for Yankee fans.
The 0-2. 1-2. Hey, we'd like to take the time to welcome all of our servicemen and women watching the Yankees today on the Armed Forces Network. So everybody here at Yes and Fox Sports, thank you for your commitment and service to America. Thank you indeed. Hope you're enjoying the game. Chapman is up in the Yankee bullpen. And the 1-2. Now I'm gonna give you an alley-oop, John. It's right over the rim. Obviously Pineda was great. How much of the credit goes to the catcher today, Austin Romine?
A ton. We talked about the rhythm that they were in. We talked about the pitch selection, making him throw his changeup. They just seemed like they were on the same page all day.
That one's popped up left side, long run for Longoria, can't get there.
This is one of those days that if it all plays out the way the Yankees are expecting it to, Austin Romine does not have a hit today, right? He's 0 for 3. He doesn't have a care in the world in that Yankee clubhouse. If the Yankees can close this one out, deserves a lot of credit for what he did with Pineda.
One man's injury is another man's opportunity, and Romine really paid his dues before he actually got to the big leagues. And now I think he's proving his worth without a doubt.
Well, there are very few people that are going to hit like Gary Sanchez could hit and catch. You see Chapman, but this case with Romine, he can call a game, receive a game, throw a game as well as anybody, and he's really done a great job as a backup catcher. Last year backing up McCann, and then when Sanchez came up, backing up Sanchez. So the Yankees like him and they trust him. So if he's not going to hit, and he will get some more, he'll get some RBIs, but he can catch a good game.
Boy, you just said it perfectly. They trust him. They trust when he goes back behind the plate. First of all, he's well prepared. Scouting reports, game plan. He's got that good feel on how to call a game. But David, you know this better than anybody. Sometimes personalities work between pitchers and catchers, and it just seemed to work this afternoon.
Good chemistry.
(3-2). Line drive right field coming on Souza. He'll make the play. So Ellsbury hit it hard, but Souza right there, one away.
Ellsbury swinging the bat well.
Just thinking the same thing. Drove that ball to right center, hit that ball hard. Already he's on the board with a home run this year, but it seems like he's getting the ball out front a little bit more, jumping off his bat.
Driving.
Yeah.
So here's Matt Holliday. Single to right in the first, struck out in the third, ground ball to third in the sixth.
Also a very efficient day for Alex Cobb, as we mentioned how impressed we are with him. The 100th pitch coming here with one out in the bottom of the 8th.
And taking off for third is Gardner. Not even a throw. Another stolen base for Gardner. And that's significant with one out. Now you have forced to bring the infield in, and run could score on a fly ball.
Well, you can see Holliday just dropped his shoulders. He knew he wasn't going to swing the bat because Gardner had such a great jump, and it worked out for Holliday too. With the ball, he's now ahead in the count 2-0. Have to give up a strike.
So the infield comes in. Yankees lead 3-1, looking for more. Cobb works from the full windup with a runner on third. 2-1. So at 101 pitches, Cobb is. Line drive. That's going to score a run. It's going to go more and go into the gap and all the way to the warning track. Scoring easily is Gardner. It's an RBI double for Holiday. It's a 4-1 Yankee lead.
Good first day in Yankee Stadium for Holiday. Base hit his first at bat. Now he picks up an RBI, driving one to the gap in left center. A big leg kick, gets the front foot down and just hammers it.
Wow, down and through the baseball. That's how you teach little leaguers.
Well, Alex Cobb pitched very well, but he pitched the wrong day to pitch very well. He departs, they go to the bullpen. Midweek matinee on Yes as the Yankees take on these same Rays in Game 2 of this set. Now the coverage begins at 12:30 with the Chevy pregame, and then the Bombers battle the Rays right here in the Bronx. It's all right here on Yes, and of course streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Here's Austin Pruitt. Runner at second, Chris Carter at the plate. Now, the Rays bullpen has allowed 5 runs in 7 games, and Pruitt has allowed 4 of them. And they still have an outstanding bullpen ERA, but again, bullpen ERA is a little bit of a sketchy barometer because sometimes you come in with runners on base, you give up a big hit, and your ERA doesn't go up if you don't give up your own hit.
It's a highly volatile stat. Short sample sizes. The reliever has 5 minutes of bad work, and it's a month's time to get the ERA back down. It'll be very deceiving.
Well, Pruitt with an ERA of 16.20. Carter 0 for 3 today. The 1-1. High fly ball, left field. Going back, Smith, still back. Track, Wally can't make the play. It's off the wall, and it caroms into left center field. Holiday scores easily. Carter's going for 3. Here's the throw. He's in there. An RBI triple for Chris Carter, and the Yankees lead 5-1.
Well, you can see the excitement in that Yankee dugout. I'm thinking, how many triples does Chris Carter have in his career? Usually, when he gets a hold of them, they go over the fence. This one is going to be off of the wall, left center field. Now going to be his 5th triple of his career. See Smith going back, crashing into the wall. Holiday's going to score easily, and Chris Carter cruising into third base with an RBI triple.
Ouch.
Carter thought it was out, didn't run hard out of the box, but then picked it up and got himself a triple. So the Rays bring the infield in for Sterling Castro, and when Holiday scored, Chapman sat down. So they'll probably just let Clippard pitch the ninth. High fly ball, deep right, going back, Souza leaps, see ya! A home run the other way for Starlin Castro. A 2-run shot, and it's 7-1 Yankees. Third home run of the afternoon for the Yankees. One by Judge, one by Headley, and this one by Castro.
Take a look, a little slider out over the plate, and Castro knew that he hit it well, but I think he had a little help too. Ball looked like it carried to right center field. He's having some fun here in the bottom of the 8th.
Where's that guy with the glove again? That's almost the same spot. And another miss by the fan.
I think Cash wants him to take a look if there was interference, or whether it hit the wall and then bounded back on the field. I don't quite know what he's. I guess it hit the concrete on the top of the wall. He's got to be saying that the fan reached out over. That's the only thing that he could be talking about there.
Doesn't seem to be any obstruction there from the fans. No reaching actually out onto the playing field. The fans are well within their right to catch the ball as long as it's over the fence.
How about this angle, though? See that hand out? Did it hit that hand?
The ball hit that hand.
Right.
And that's close as far as reaching out from the top hand right there. Good shot there from our crew. Excellent work. Not sure if Souza could have caught that either way.
So the play under review.
Definitely worth a look if you're Cash and on the Rays bench. I don't see anything there to overturn this at all, though. Nothing conclusive.
And that hand right there. No, they say home run. So, as David said, I think that's what it was. If it had been called interference, I don't think they would have overturned it. And it was called a home run, I don't think they're going to overturn it. There wasn't conclusive evidence one way or the other. And really, it's worth the shot by Cash. 7-1 Yankees. And here is Headley. So chasing Shreve up.
Chapman down, Shreve up.
Line to right field coming on Souza. It's going to duck in front of him for a base hit. Another good day for Headley. 2 for 3 with a walk. Souza was playing deep. John, I wonder why anybody would really play deep in right field at Yankee Stadium. If
it's over your head, it's in the seats, right? That ball maybe a little bit off the end of the bat too, just kind of ran out of steam. I love the way Headley's using his hands this year, though. Gets that foot down nice and early. Good extension.
You're right, off-speed pitch, a little off the end.
Here's Judge. Now the Yankees have hit for the cycle in 4 plate appearances in this inning. Double, triple, home run, now a single. Had a lot in this inning. Reached on an E4, 2 stolen bases. Ground ball and stopped there by Morrison, but he loses the ball and everybody is safe. The whole right side of the infield was open and Morrison was the last line of defense. Not sure he would have gotten Judge even if he fielded it cleanly. A couple of Judges out there. And there's a Judge.
Here comes the Judge. The fans are definitely buying into the youth movement. They are hungry to see a young star emerge.
We're waiting on whether that's called a hit or not. Here's Austin Romine. Jimmy Fallon here at the yard taking selfies with the great men of our armed forces. Got a show to do tonight. Tap back to Pruitt. He bobbles again, and everybody's safe. It's all falling apart for the Rays.
I don't know if Pruitt has ever heard of Murphy's Law, but he's living it right now.
Well, Judge's ground ball was scored a hit. This is going to be an E1. As Jim Hickey will go out and try to settle down the youngster.
Like the juggler in Central Park.
The way things are going in this inning, do you think he's even listening to what he's saying right there?
Nothing. I'm not hearing a word. Been there.
So a rough night, 8th inning for the Rays as Torreyes comes up as the 9th hitter of the inning.
Torreyes does his best work with runners in scoring position.
And a strike.
First week of the Yankee season, and the 2 guys that are the MVPs are Torreyes and Headley. Who would have bet on that? Only 1 week sample size. Cobb was much better than those numbers would indicate.
Oh, 0-2.
Probably got to put Sabathia in that category too. His first 2 starts, Sabathia has really come up big for the Yankees.
He was locked in Tampa. I thought he had to work a little bit harder in Baltimore.
Yeah, he managed the game in Baltimore. Got through 6th innings. It was impressive.
One and 2 on Torreyes. 7 runs on 10 hits for the Yankees. 1, 2, and 1 for the Rays. Bases loaded. Still 1 out. Ground ball to third. He goes to third for 1. Over to first. Not in time. Headley scores another RBI for Torreyes. It's 8-1 Yanks.
Torreyes has really excellent contact skills. Hard to strike out. He's very aggressive. He's not going to walk a lot, but he clearly puts the ball in play consistently. Longoria, an excellent effort. Torreyes just too quick.
Well, here's Gardner. He started the inning with a simple ground ball to second that was booted by Miller and kind of opened the floodgates. 5 runs in, first and second, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Yankees lead 8-1. Fly ball left center, Kiermaier on the run, and he'll make the play for the final out of the inning. Yankees put a 5 spot on the board. They leave 2. We go to the 9th. Yankees up by 7 at the home opener. As the Yankee skipper weighs in on week 2 of the season, takes you inside the clubhouse. A new episode premieres Sunday at 7:30. It's only on Yes. Well, it's been a beautiful day here at the stadium. If you're a Yankee fan, you like it even more. Chasen Shreve will come on, try to get the final 3 outs. This will be his 3rd game. 2 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. But the story of this game, even more of a story than the 3 Yankee home runs, has to be Michael Pineda and the gem that he delivered. Had a perfect game, 2 outs into the 7th inning, and that young man must feel really nervous right now. Kyle Higashioka is making his major league debut behind the plate, catching Chasen Shreve. And Kyle was called up when they put Gary Sanchez on the DL, and we should have more information on Sanchez on the post game because Christopher Ahmad, the Yankee team physician, was going to look at Gary and look at the test, so might have a more definitive time frame on Sanchez's injury. Beckham takes a strike from Shreve.
What's it feel like, Flash? First major league game behind the plate?
I was so nervous I couldn't throw the ball back to the pitcher. That's how nervous I was. But I'm thinking about this young guy who spent so much time in the minor leagues. Now you're catching at Yankee Stadium on opening day. Drafted in 08. Paid his dues, and really he's become an offensive player now. He's always been a good catcher, but for 20 home runs, 80 RBIs, all that hard work paid off.
10 years in the system, 10 years in the minors. Actually signed back with the Yankees after they let him go, and then he turned into a hitter, as John said, and that kind of matched up with pretty good catching skills, and all of a sudden he became somebody the Yankees really regarded very, very well. And you see Romine switched over to first, giving Carter the rest of the day off. And he said what made him better as a hitter, he stopped studying tapes of himself. He started studying tapes of successful major league hitters, what they did, how they approached at bats, you know, their setup at the plate, and he took and stole a little from everybody.
Osmosis.
Yeah.
That's what I do at the bar. I belly up and look at the other guys, what they're drinking.
Fly ball, right center, drifting back Ellsbury. He's there. Meredith Marakovitz has more on Higashioka.
Well, Michael, what he really did was make some mechanical adjustments as well, and it all focused with him barreling up the ball more often with more consistency. He said power was never the end goal of all of it. It was just a consequence of the adjustments that he had made. Certainly happy that he was able to gain a little bit of power, but since then he has been consistently hitting with power, and he feels as though that's going to continue because of those adjustments.
Here is Dickerson. He's going to have to wait probably for another day to get his first big league at bat, but he's getting his feet wet here today.
You know what I found, that when you're a defensive catcher in the minor leagues, all these coaches tell you all you have to do is hit 250. All you have to do is, and you start thinking almost a defensive thought up at the plate and just trying to hit for average. And, Kyle's gotten to the point where he's turning it loose a little bit and probably freed him up mentally more than anything else.
Ground ball to third. And there's 2 away as Dickerson is gunned down by Headley. And the Rays down to their final out.
Sounds like you're describing yourself, Flash.
When I got traded to the Detroit Tigers, they said, we don't care what your batting average is. The way you catch and throw, try to do damage. And because of that, my batting average went up because I was just a little bit freer.
Here's Peter Borges. Pinch hitting for Kiermaier. One and 0. Count 2-0 on Borges. Fouled away and announced a sellout crowd of 46,955 at the stadium at the home opener. And if the Yankees get this final out, they'll pull to 3 and 4, and all of a sudden 1 and 4 seems like a distant memory. Remember, they started out 1 and 4 in 1998. I'm not saying that it's going to be that season, but you can start off slowly and have a good ending.
Panic galore back in 1998.
Swing and a miss. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, and that'll do it. The Rays go down in order in the 9th, and the Yankees win this one 8-1. Seems like everybody contributed. The long ball was there, but as we mentioned, David, the story of this game is going to be the performance by Michael Pineda, the guy that you never know what you're going to get from, and today you got really, really great pitching.
Yeah, I was thinking back to 1997 when David Wells threw his perfect game, and from that point on, his whole career took off. And you get that feeling with Michael Pineda that maybe there's a performance like this that might get him off, that might give him the confidence that he needs to pitch like he's capable of pitching. He was that good today.
So the Yankees take the first game of this homestand. The long ball contributed, as we mentioned. Aaron Judge with a home run, Chase Headley with a home run, Starlin Castro with a home run. The Yankees had 10 hits. Everybody got involved. And remember, that's without Gary Sanchez and Greg Bird. Sanchez on the DL, Bird, bad right ankle and battling a case of the flu. So the Yankee record now after 7 games is 3-4, and they hope that maybe Michael Pineda found something, and a guy who helped him, obviously his catcher, Austin Romine. We go downstairs now to Meredith Marakovitz.
Austin, Michael Pineda was magnificent this afternoon. How was he able to carry a perfect game into that 7th inning?
You know, he stayed calm and composed the whole time throughout the game. You know, there was no change in emotion, no change in urgency. He had 3 pitches working really well, and when he got all 3 working, good things happen.
You mentioned the 3 pitches. You guys incorporated that changeup a little bit more. How much does that help keep the opposing team off balance when he has 3 pitches that work?
No, I said it before the game. If we can get them to honor all 3 pitches, it makes it that much tougher. He was going to both sides of the plate, and his slider was devastating. So when you got all 3 going and a slider like his, like I said, good things happen.
You're obviously dialed in, but at what point in time do you realize he still has a perfect game going?
You know, you can look up, and there's a lot more zeros than normal, I guess you could say, but you try not to notice that kind of stuff. But as it gets to the 7th, I think the fans start to notice it gets a little louder in here, so you kind of feed off that.
How much pressure do you feel in that 6th and that 7th to put down the right finger?
You know, not a lot, really. We're just trying to win a ball game. If we get that perfect game, that's a plus. But, I mean, you feel it, but you don't try and change the way you call a game. You stick with what's been working, and you go with it.
Austin, thank you so much for this time.
No problem.
We'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Meredith, and thank you, Austin. That's Pineda's first win since August 5th against Cleveland of last year. He had 11 straight winless starts. So back on the winning side for Michael Pineda, and the Yankees win their 2nd game in a row. We'll come back, we'll wrap things up, you know the whole deal, and then we'll get you ready for the postgame show. The guys are here at the stadium. 8-1 Yankees on Yes.